There are 3 and only 3 types of body types, and in this video, by the end of the video, you're going to know exactly which one you are. My name is Dr. Story. I've been a chiropractor for over 24 years. I'm going to give you realistic advice based on my experience. It's kind of sad sometimes when you see people that they're trying to achieve something that they're genetically not going to achieve. There are 3 types of body types, and when I explain this to you, my goal of doing this video is to help you understand the advantages of your body type and why you are okay. The first type of body type is the endomorph. Now, this is the type of person that when they were born 12 pounds. They were born huge. They are considered when they're little, they have big bones. Usually these types of people are shaped like a pear, so they have narrow shoulders and big hips, or a big derriere. And so these types of individuals usually have trouble because in our society, especially with social media, this is not the ideal body shape. However, there are some advantages of being an endomorph. Number 1, what ends up happening is these people very often do not suffer from osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is a disease where people start losing the calcium inside their bones and they become very fragile and they can break hips and have all sorts of problems as they get older. People that are shaped like a pear usually don't suffer from osteoporosis as much, and the reason why is because their entire life, this sounds kind of weird, but when you think about it, all their life they've been weight training. They're walking around carrying extra weight, and what ends up happening is it strengthens their bones. So these people tend to be they tend to not have problems with osteoporosis. The second thing is these people tend to be very good athletes for certain types of sports, strength sports. So these are the people that become the linemen of the football team. These are the people that in order to compete with them, trying to run around them is like trying to run around a barn that keeps moving. These are people that are very good athletes when it comes to strength sports because, again, their musculature always has to carry around their extra weight, and thus they become naturally strong. Now, because of social media and shaming and all these different things, we tend to think of these people as unhealthy, but ironically, usually during their blood tests, just because they're pear-shaped does not necessarily mean that their cholesterol is high. It does not necessarily mean that their blood pressure is high. So if you're an endomorph, these are things that you really shouldn't stress about as much just because of the shape of the body. This is what nature gave you, and it's best to use what nature gave you as an advantage. The second type of body type is what's called a mesomorph. Now, a mesomorph is kind of the person that has wide shoulders and narrow hips. This is the type of person, instead of being shaped like a pear, they're shaped like a V. These are the natural athletes. Think of a Tom Brady and a quarterback of a football team or a track sprinter. These are people that are naturally gifted with low percent body fat, and they're gifted with a high percentage of muscle, usually fast twitch muscles. These are the people that social media idolizes. These are the studs. These are the studettes. These are the people that the beach volleyball players and the quarterbacks of the football team. These are the people that sports tend to come easy to them. Think of Rousey, the WW, the fighter lady. Man, she's a tough one. And she is built like a mesomorph. She's a female mesomorph. And that type of body type naturally tends to gravitate towards performance sports. So rather than being just on the line of a football team, these are the people that are usually the quarterbacks and the runners, track sprinters, those types of sorts. Now, just like an endomorph, usually we associate these types of body types with perfect health. But ironically, because they look perfectly healthy, it doesn't necessarily mean they're chemically healthy. So these types of individuals, they do need to watch their blood sugar, and take care of their body as if they were just normal humans, even though we idolize these people on the magazines, on social media, as the perfect human being. The third type of body type is the ectomorph, and this is the type of person I am. These are the people that were born, and during their early childhood, people were always trying to feed them food, trying to make them gain weight. When I was a child, grandmothers would come to me and say, "You're not eating enough," that type of person. These are people that are built very thin boned. They have narrow shoulders, narrow hips. No matter what they eat, they tend to not gain weight, and that's been my situation. When I was younger, I lifted weights. All my friends in high school, we all lifted weights, and I got stronger and they got stronger. We all taken protein powders and swallowing raw eggs like Rocky Balboa, and they gained weight, and all I did was get stronger, never gained a pound. These are the people that tend to become endurance athletes. So when you think of a triathlete or a cyclist or a Kenyan runner, these are people that are extremely naturally gifted at endurance events, but have a very hard time competing in strength type of sports. So those are the advantages and disadvantages. Now, ectomorphs are the type of people that would become, like a female version would be like a supermodel, super tall, super lanky, not a lot of body fat. Unfortunately, the problem with being an ectomorph is they are human. We tend to idolize these people on social media because they're naturally thin, and the mesomorphs and the endomorphs are always trying to go on diets to become an ectomorph, but it is impossible because you can't starve yourself enough to look like that unless you're super unhealthy. The problem is with being an ectomorph is because those people are thin, they tend to think of themselves as healthy, but they're actually not. Sometimes even ectomorphs can have high blood sugar, they can develop diabetes, but because of the appearance of their body type, it doesn't appear as though there's anything healthily wrong with them. So I hope this has been informative to you. If you like my videos, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification buttons, and if you have any questions, ask in the comment section below. What type of body type are you, and what have you found to be the advantages? Leave those comments in the section down below.